All right, so what's good, everybody? It's your boy Hockey the Fleur, and we back with another video on the Tory Lanez drama with Megan Thee Stallion. Let's get right into it. I actually don't know what's going on. I literally have been staying away from like Twitter and like, Instagram and stuff like that, just so I don't see what's going on with this shit. I've been trying to keep up with Flacco. Let's get straight into it.
Year and a half, it's scary. And it gets
Drop a like too. But let's
scarier
get it.
the more you dig through the rabbit hole. Because the
Yeah,
deeper you go, the quicker you realize this is much bigger than Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. There's a
really?
lot more characters at play here who participated in a railroading of Tory Lanez. And they didn't
What?
participate in a railroading of Tory Lanez because they had this infinity for Megan Thee Stallion or they care for Megan Thee Stallion. As far as I'm concerned, Megan Thee Stallion was also used as a pawn in this situation. This is much deeper than celebrity culture.
No.
This goes to politics.
What?
See, as we dig deeper and we learn more about the situation,
Yeah.
new characters begin to get introduced, like George Gascon, the district attorney for Los Angeles, who just lost his reelection.
We heard, that possibly he could be exonerated here. I want you to give my audience what they don't know and your analysis of actually what went down.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. And I got to tell you, I've been involved in looking into this case for almost about 6 months exactly now. It was brought to me by a board member, Diana London, with the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety, who regularly says she believed Tory Lanez was innocent. And as I
Mm.
looked through the case and I noticed a number of irregularities in the
Yeah.
case, I began to come to that same conclusion that this was an innocent person. Let me take you back to the very beginning. First and foremost, we got a George Soros funded prosecutor named George Gascon who was prosecuting this case.
Yeah.
He was at the time coming off of his second recall attempt. He was in severe trouble as he had lost support in numerous demographics, key demographics to his electoral success,
Yeah.
including Black women. And he needed to do whatever he could to
To try to get that
possibly
vote.
win this election. I believe if Jesus Christ was Tory Lanez's attorney, Tory Lanez would have still lost his case no matter.
That shit not funny, but it is because he's like correct, bro. I know the nigga Tory defense was probably fired too, but it was an L from the start. But we know this because no fingerprints, no gun residue, no bullet fragments located on Tory or near him. So it's like, and it
Matter what.
When Gascon first got elected, a lot of his
this nigga looked like a Muppet character. We
Bruh.
trusting Muppets to be in office? Look at this goofy ass nigga. Oh my
progressive
goodness.
policy sounded great in theory, and it sounded like something that the people of LA wanted, like zero bail policy for like 95% of crimes until people realized that their perpetrators were being released, or like minors not being charged in adult courts until people
What?
realized that people were committing murders intentionally and sending 16 and 15-year-olds to commit these murders intentionally, knowing that those 16-year-olds will be released
Would
by
not get.
25. So people were killing people's
Oh.
brothers and fathers and sisters and being released in 9 years. And they felt like this was severely
Oh.
unfair. So they turned on Gascon, right? And when Gascon tried to get reelected, he realized fairly quickly, they not messing with me, bro. Like, these people are not feeling me no more.
They
It
not
got so
fucking with
bad
me.
for Gascon, they were literally trying to recall him and get him out of here. They wanted him gone. And
Damn.
he was public enemy number one for a lot of conservatives, and they would use him as the greatest examples of the failures of progressive policies in these
Mm,
urban cities.
yeah.
And people will look at Los Angeles and the crime rates and how unsafe the streets were, and they will
Mm.
blame it all on Gascon. Gascon
Yeah, you
understood
know.
this. He understood the public backlash coming from Twitter, understood the narrative, and he understood he was losing supporters.
Yeah,
So
of
him
course.
doing this, him going full progressive mode, doing things in his Tory Lanez case that he didn't do for other cases to try to win over the hearts of
Black
rap
people.
fans, of
Yeah.
Black women who support Megan Thee Stallion, to send a
Facts.
message,
This shit
that's not
weird.
too far-fetched, to be honest. At first, I probably thought it was. But now as I look deep, that's not too far-fetched, bro.
Yeah.
Tory's attorneys have alleged prosecutorial misconduct,
Mm.
suppressing of evidence,
Yeah.
exculpatory evidence being withheld. And I believe them based on the facts. But why is it that they never tested her DNA onto the gun? You knew that she had gunpowder on her hand. They found that out. Why didn't they test that? Why is it that they added this enhancement to his case? Now, enhancements are used for violent gang members, people with a history of brutal crime.
Yeah, he doesn't
George
have that.
Gascon has had numerous people who have had brutal crimes that he didn't recommend an enhancement. One by the
Really?
name of Raymond Danger Gonzalez, who murdered, premeditated 2 individuals, including a teenager, and he stole their money. No recommendation for enhancements from George Gascon. Or the
Wow.
General Hospital actor Johnny Wagner. He was brutally murdered. No recommendation for enhancements. So this led me to believe instantly that George Gascon had put on a front. He wanted to pretend to be tough on crime so he
Yeah.
can have a silver bullet for his next election because he had a black woman that he can say that he protected. And it's insane that unfairness is pushing through our justice system, but we've seen this with numerous cases with George Gascon. And that's why the Caldwell Institute
Get his
got
ass up.
involved in this
Lock
case.
his ass up,
Because
bro.
injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
The
Yeah,
playbook
bro.
that Gascon tried to run isn't a new playbook. It's actually a
Hell
pretty
no.
effective playbook.
Yeah.
Gascon was just so bad and did too much damage that it was too late for him. It
Yeah,
didn't work.
I've
But the
seen this shit work
playbook is
before.
ran in the presidential election almost every
Yeah,
4 years. Think about it, bruh.
Trump did the
Think
same
about
thing.
it.
Trump did the same thing when he went to, I believe he went to like Chick-fil-A somewhere and bought everyone there Chick-fil-A. And you saw a bunch of just black people like, oh my God, Trump, 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 you got my vote. All it took was this nigga to buy chicken sandwiches. I feel like y'all probably seen this shit. I saw that shit. I said, bro, it's over for us as a people, bro. Because these niggas is so. All it took was Chick-fil-A, my nigga. Yeah.
How come the police shooting of black men aren't publicized until it's election year? Think about it
Yeah.
for a
Oh
second, bro.
my
Think
God.
about all the instances of police shootings that come to your mind immediately.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
How come those incidents only happen? Well, they happen frequently,
Yeah, it happens
but
often.
they
This shit
only
happens
get
often.
published.
It happens more often than you would like to think, bro. It never gets publicized until it's like somebody's news about to get in the office, or there's a new congressperson, or some new person's. Like, it's fucked up, bro.
And blasted to the masses in terms of CNN, Fox News, every news
Yeah,
outlet, social media, marching, protesting, looting. All the chaos happens during election year. That's because you know what happens? Some of that money gets thrown out to these media companies, gets marketed. They push the money into spreading and publicizing the police shooting because they want to fearmonger. They want to create this illusion that they're about to step in and save you from this big bad monster. Then once they get elected, the big bad monster that you thought was prevalent and a really big deal, you come to find out, okay, those are fringe cases. Those cases probably happen once in 1,000. You
yeah.
like, bro, in your life, you'll probably never experience that. But you go 4 years without really thinking about it.
Mhm.
And then right when the election year comes again, boom, you got
Here,
another big story
three,
that's
four
everywhere. And now
cases.
they want to fearmonger you again. That's what George Gascon tried to do. After years of allowing murderers to go free,
Yeah,
allowing robbers and looters to
that's
come
sick,
out
bro.
without any bond, he wanted to be harder on Tory Lanez
I
than
heard this shit
literal
happen in
murderers.
Chicago too.
He wanted to give Tory Lanez enhancements that he didn't give to actually
No
people who killed
murders.
people.
Even if the nigga did shoot the bitch, he shot her in the fucking foot. He wasn't gonna kill her by shooting her in the fucking foot. Her fucking toes probably just fucked up. She, might a little bit of nerve damage. These niggas killed people, multiple people, and still didn't get enhancements. It's adding up. The math is mathing. Flacco on his investigative work. Put Flacco on the feds. I feel like he'll do great. I swear to God.
Even if you believe that Tory Lanez is guilty, think about it. Do you think it's fair that Tory Lanez would get a gun enhancement when people
Hell
who have
no.
actually killed people don't?
Hell no.
It doesn't make sense, right? And I'm not talking about people already serving life. I'm talking about people who have literally killed somebody and come home in like 10 years. At
That's
this point, it's
insanity.
not if Tory Lanez is going to get released, it's when is Tory Lanez going to get released.
Yeah.
Because the justice system is going to prevail, bruh. This level of corruptness has to be corrected
Trump's
for the
Trump's so
sake
ugly.
of our Constitution. Now,
Trump
Tory
is so
Lanez's
cooked.
father and Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who is also really close friends with Trump, has
Yeah.
been campaigning on behalf of Tory Lanez. And you know this situation is bad. You know it's really corrupt when you have people who are on the opposite side of things who usually don't agree when
Yeah.
they start agreeing on things, when you have Piers Morgan calling Megan Thee Stallion inconsistent and a liar, you know you have a problem on your hands here, bruh. Now, Anna Paulina seen
Has
Trump
Megan said
yesterday.
anything?
I'm sure she talked to Trump about this. Now, she's calling
100%.
on Governor Newsom to pardon Tory Lanez. But it don't even have to be a full-on pardon. All they literally have to do is get rid of the gun enhancement. The gun enhancement is why Tory Lanez is
Was in
currently
there
in
for
jail
10
right
years.
now.
Really?
Without the gun enhancement, Tory Lanez will be out of jail right now. He will
Really?
be, he'll be
House
out.
arrest.
Like, it'll
House
be
arrest,
time
right?
served. You take away the gun enhancement, and Tory Lanez has served enough time. He qualified for that 85%. He'll be out right now.
What?
So this is not a situation of, free Tory Lanez because, pardon him, he's 100% innocent. Okay, cool. All right. But this is a situation of take away the gun enhancement that was very unusual and don't happen to a lot of people under God's con. Tory Lanez's father and Congresswoman Luna was on Piers Morgan today. And while on Piers Morgan, they gave such a compelling argument that even Piers Morgan had to call out Megan Thee Stallion for being inconsistent and lying.
I don't think you need to be a conspiracy theorist,
And this
Representative
nigga look white as hell, and he look like he don't really like black people. So if he agreeing, hey, we're gonna play it.
Luna, to see there's a lot of inconsistency going on here. She denied to Gayle King that there was any relationship with Tory. She then admits that there had been, that she lied. She doesn't admit to lying about the circumstances of the shooting, but certainly this goes to the heart of her veracity.
That's bad news for Megan Thee Stallion altogether. Where you have Piers Morgan on a platform this big calling you a liar and claiming that your past statements of you lying can actually be used to determine the veracity of your overall statements on Tory Lanez, that's bad. Now, Tory Lanez's father actually laid out a pretty solid case for Tory Lanez. On his platform, he actually spoke to the corruptness of what took place to Tory Lanez at trial. I was there when Sean Kelly was supposed to testify. Sean Kelly was the defense witness. Tory Lanez and them called Sean Kelly to the witness stand because Sean Kelly gave a statement to the police testifying that he seen a woman fire the gun.
Whoa.
When Sean Kelly got to that office, man, the prosecutors brought him upstairs. And by the time Sean Kelly came back downstairs to testify, his story has completely changed. And a lot of us sat there with our mouths open like, what?
What? Nigga.
Sean Kelly...
How much did they pay your ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me see the wire. Nigga, check his bank account. Why can't we do shit like that? Do some investigative work. Aren't y'all supposed to really be investigating? Like, nigga, do some investigative work. Nigga, we can probably... I feel like y'all can it's relatively easy to go see if that nigga got some money or something, like a wire from somewhere.
Statement got so bad and it was so contradicting to what he told the police that Tory Lanez's team filed or they petitioned to treat Sean Kelly as a hostile witness. That's when your witness turns against you. So now you got to treat him as if it's a cross-examination. And that's what they did. Sean Kelly had this entire story he already gave to where he saw a woman shoot. Then when he hopped on the stand, he said he saw a woman shoot and a man shoot.
Walking through this, I'll never forget the day when we're sitting outside of the courtroom getting ready for court to reconvene. And imagine the only independent witness, which should have been the only objective witness in this case, was a gentleman by the name of Sean Kelly. Interestingly enough, the only person that would be able to have an unbiased viewpoint of what actually happened. Imagine that the prosecution did not want to call that witness. Why? This is the only independent witness, but yet you don't want to call this person because obviously his bird's eye view will not support what you want the narrative to be. And so when we sat outside, my wife and I, we saw this gentleman come in and we sat down and it was identified for us that, oh, this is Mr. Sean Kelly. He's sitting across from us on the other side of the hallway. And as we sat there, the prosecution came out, one of their detectives or investigators rather, and one of the prosecutors, they took this gentleman, they went upstairs, I believe it was to the 14th floor at that time. By the time this man came down, the witness they did not want to call, this man came down and his testimony became so embellished with other nonsense that people who saw it just looked at it and said, this is crazy.
I was there, and I can speak for the temperature in the room. People were shocked and stunned.
Yeah.
It became
how
a
your
battle.
story,
It became
how your
very
story switch
hostile
up
very
that
quickly.
fast, bro?
The defense called the witness, and the witness turned against them after a meeting with the prosecutors minutes before he was called. I'm saying that's crazy, that's foul.
They
And
paid that
regardless of
nigga a
if you
fat
think Tory
ass
Lanez is
bag.
guilty or not, you should look at that and say, that's crazy, bruh. How is this allowed? How? How? Now, Tory Lanez's father also laid out a case in terms of the DNA, in terms of, the gun fragments that weren't found, and he spelled this out pretty perfectly.
Just one last question, because you made me think of this. But if your son was not responsible for Megan Thee Stallion being shot, we do know that indisputably she was shot. Who shot her?
I think we know that.
First of all, the whole idea of her being shot is a speculation. That's a speculation. It's to this point has not been proven that she was even shot. That in all of this, how can you have a situation where in pretrial, the police, LAPD, says that the bullet fragments they had collected from the hospital just mysteriously vanishes. It goes missing.
What?
I would think that evidence is something that is protected in
Yeah,
any police
very
department,
heavily.
but they just mysteriously go missing. So there's no bullet fragments to be presented at trial. You have a situation where a gun is shot, and the gun, which is supposed to be your main piece of evidence, does not even show up at court, but some picture of a weapon that resembles or is the type of weapon they say that was used. The weapon does not show up at court. There is absolutely no, we hear this point of 0.1% of his DNA on the gun. Do you know what that actually means when you investigate it?
Wow.
That over 1.5 billion black people on the planet could have been their DNA.
This is crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion, Rock Nation. FBI, open up, nigga. Come on, investigate them niggas. This shit gonna get, and it's only gonna get worse for them. Cause I know she probably talked to Trump about it. You got Piers Morgan, you got Anna Polina, I believe, on the case. You got hard proof and all, like, everything that they just keep saying every time I see a new video on this just keeps disproving Megan Thee Stallion's testimony.
I don't think anybody can look at this case regardless of how they feel.
Yeah,
Even
and
if
be
they
like,
feel like in their heart, man, Tory Lanez, you did it.
yeah,
You can't, with a clear mind that's not biased, look at this and say, no gun was presented, no bullet fragments was presented,
yeah,
testimonies changed a lot. The witness claimed that he seen a woman shoot. Then he claimed he seen Tory shoot after the prosecutors coached him.
yeah.
The witness, who was actually in the car, Kelsey, took the stand and testified that she didn't see Tory Lanez shoot her. She don't know what happened. Bro, anybody can look at this and say, yo, Tory Lanez,
It's innocent.
you ain't get a fair shot in court.
Hell
And I
no.
think that's what people are asking for, a fair shot. They're not saying, yo, overturn it. And no, yo, overturn it, but bro, bring it back to court.
Yeah.
Bring it back to court and have them have another shot
Let's
in
do
court.
a redo. Let's do a redo.
But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think?
Let's do a redo. And if he's found innocent, lock Megan Thee Stallion and her team up. Or at least Megan Thee Stallion. But this shit crazy. I can't believe it, bro. I thought I didn't think it could get any worse, to be honest, but it did. It got a lot worse. Yeah, I hope y'all boys enjoyed the video. If y'all did, drop a like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna be hitting y'all with more reactions soon. But yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.